If you have a piece of content that's not ranking well for your target keywords, you can use the on-page audit tool in SearchAtlas to discover why. So let's take the search phrase free video editing software as an example, and this piece of content that's currently ranking on page 4. We want to learn what changes we could make to this piece of content to improve its ranking position. To generate an audit, you'll need to enter the URL as well as a target keyword and then press Run Audit. Your audit will appear in the table below with a high-level overview of both the content and the technical scores. To view the details of the audit, click View Audit. The categories of the audit include content, technicals, page structure, focus terms, and recommended internal links. The elements that make up each category are expandable, so you can see what's on your page, and in some cases, how your on-page elements measure up against the top ranking content. In order to begin resolving some of the issues on this page, I recommend taking it one category at a time, and it's clear from this audit that the biggest weakness is content. We can see the content scores of the top ranking content here, and our page falls below average. So we want to aim to get our content score into that green range and definitely higher than the average of 67. Our word count is also below average with only about 1,300 words. And we can see here that some of this top ranking content is pretty in-depth and comprehensive. In terms of readability, we're in the right range here, so we don't need to make any significant changes in that area. If we want to compare all of this information at once, open the performance against competitors, and you'll see your page at the top and all of the top ranking content below with the content score, word count, readability, and domain traffic. So you can get an idea if there is an opportunity for your page to take one of these top positions. The good news is resolving content issues is really easy if you use the SEO Content Assistant. So if we click over to that tool and we press Create New Article, then we are going to import the URL of the page that we just audited, and the tool will then import all of the existing content from that page into the text editor. Then we're also going to want to enter the same keyword that we included in our audit to upload all of the right information to begin making our changes. You're going to see some similar information from your audit populate here in the sidebar, including word count, readability, and most importantly, focus terms. These are terms that your competitors are using on the page, and adding them into your content and increasing the word count is what's going to elevate your content score and thus your ranking potential. You have a couple view options for your focus terms list. The first is by clusters, and the second is by completion, meaning any terms that have not been fully incorporated. You can also organize the list by heading, importance, CPC. I'm going to do importance just so I know which ones are going to have the greatest impact. And I'm going to move into focus mode here so I can see more of my focus terms. Then I'm going to begin the process of finding places to include these terms. As you include them, you're going to see that they highlight on the page, and the more that you include, the more your content score will increase. It's likely going to take you some time to improve your content score, so I sped up this part of the video here so you can see I'm moving through the document, moving through the focus terms list, trying to find natural places to include these terms in order to get my content score to at least that average that I saw on the on-page audit of 67. In addition to adding focus terms, the on-page audit made it clear that we also need to increase the word count to make this content more in-depth, but the tool makes that really easy with the help of the AI content generator. Simply highlight a passage of text, right-click, and then press Write paragraph for me, and you'll see a blue box of text that's generated by our AI. Make sure that you review any content the AI generates and do any necessary reformatting, revising, editing, or elaborating to bring more value to your target audience. You can continue adding sections to the content using the AI content generator, or of course, you can write out all the content yourself, but utilizing the AI does speed up the process, and sometimes it's easier to have at least a starting point to make the writing process a little bit faster. I sped up this part of the video as I used the AI content generator and make some edits until I got to a higher word count and a better content score based on the on-page audits recommendations. When you're done resolving the content issues on your page, you can return back to the audit and begin to move on to the other sections and review the recommendations provided by the audit. Some of these changes you'll have to make on the back end of your website in your content management system, but all of the recommendations are based on-page SEO best practices. If you are a marketing agency or an SEO service provider, you can generate these on-page audits prior to offering your optimization services to clients, and you can very easily export these on-page audits to a PNG, and it produces a really nice on-page audit report that you can share with current or potential clients. You can also run audits for multiple keywords. Just return to the on-page audit homepage, and when you enter your keywords, you can separate them by comma, run your audit, view audit. The software will generate a separate on-page audit for each keyword you entered, and you can easily navigate between the audits to review the various recommendations and discover the investments your team needs to make to improve ranking potential of your content.